She's had plenty of drug problems and dated some questionable men. She's been blamed for promoting anorexia and heroin use. And her nicknames include Cocaine Kate and Kate Mac.
Because anything can happen or not happen.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's what people say. Like, I feel like I forget you can actually just lie and make shit up on podcasts. So I just keep saying everything that's going on in my real life, which is just the weirdest shit happens. I don't know. Even the way that I met Jared is like weird as fuck. Like through like Uncle Laser, like and he met my friend at like an after party. Just the chain of events that transpire to make other things happen, you know?
Yes.
Is weird as fuck.
You can lie on podcasts, but like people can tell. It's the whole reason that I like doing it and liked listening to it, got into the business fucking 10 years ago at this point.
So how did you start?
I was doing back end stuff for Drinkin Bros. So Jared, as he does, probably gonna watch What's Up, Idiot.
He says he doesn't watch my podcast. I know he does.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does.
Yeah.
Talk about lying.
Oh.
No, just kidding.
I'm like, no, tell us about it. What else does he say?
What else does he say? No, he listens.
Yeah.
He listens for sure, and he watches.
Aw, JT.
I know, sweetie pie.
Yeah.
But he cares.
He has a heart of gold, that guy. He really does.
Does he? You think?
You know.
Listen, TBD.
Am I like the best judge? I don't know. We'll get into it after this during the life updates. But like,
yeah, just started on the back end stuff, was obsessed with podcasts. You know, Jared had Drinkin Bros as a group, which was, you know, made for people that are getting out of the military, feeling like they need a community. It's like never drink alone kind of. So there would be communities everywhere
heart of gold.
where people could like find each other, mostly military first responders, and meet up for a drink or a beer or whatever and not feel alone and stop each other from, you know, getting into the depths of despair. That's how that group on Facebook started. Then we started the podcast from there, and I started on the back end. And then I'm just like, so amazing. That
like my personality just
I was like producer. Yeah, exactly. I was a producer, and you know how they're always talking shit to the producer. It kind of just grew from there, and we did a movie together and stuff like that. So I'm just obsessed.
Anything that happens in my life that's just unhinged, I'm like, I'm doing it for the plot, guys. I can do whatever I want.
And that's why you and Jared are, I think, you know, get along, is because he and used to for the podcast would do shit for the show so that it would be real. He would like hang out with an Uber driver, invite him in. They would like get chicken and play video. You know,
the most Theo Von shit ever. Like he has like his trash man and stuff. I'm like, that's what I want. Like that's exactly.
So that you can be like, well, I mean, I could die, or I could have a great story.
Yeah. And if I die, they're going to talk about it at the funeral, which is kind of sick. Put in my memoirs. You know what I mean? Before, I think we met once, Jared and I, and then went to Vegas. He's like, do you want to just go? I'm like, yeah, why not? Fuck it. So I'm at the Avians in Vegas, just with all these like random like porn stars.
Premium content, as you do.
And I, honestly, Jared, if you are listening, release the vlog. I beg of you. I want nothing. Like this vlog, I know for a fact is so fucking good. Honestly, this is my formal request to release the tapes.
He's releasing the tapes.
Thank you.
I don't like making people feel bad. And if podcasting is not your thing, it's just, it's okay that it's not your thing. But like, they'll fucking let you know.
For sure.
Because they know the audience knows, right? So you can't be sitting with someone that's shit and being a piece of shit and like not let the audience know, like, hey, I know this isn't good.
Dare I say, bring back bullying a little bit. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Right? Like just lightly, not like to someone who doesn't deserve it.
Yes.
But if they do, like sometimes egos get inflated. Sometimes like someone just needs to get like a good, just like a little punch to the face or like a light bully, you know?
Absolutely.
I think.
Absolutely.
I think it would solve a lot of my ex's problems as well.
Oh my God. If they
could just be lightly bullied.
Yeah, or like in front of you, if they got, like you're dating some guy and he's just like the worst narcissist, whatever. If he gets beat up in front of you, I mean, your relationship would be amazing.
Yeah, I'm releasing that too. I'm putting it on World Star, every platform, bum fights. I don't care.
And, and he will be taken down.
No,
I mean,
hopefully. I can only pray.
We're not man hating. The problem is we're man loving. It's just the wrong.
Yeah. Women too. I mean, either or, to be honest. Either person can suck. Like, that's the fucking truth for sure. Like, maybe if that show's still on, I don't know, Beyond Scared Straight. Like, we ship them off.
Remember
we scare them
shit?
straight. Yeah. What
was that? Oh, who did? It was one of those, like, when Oprah was Oprah or Ricky Lake. Like, it was one of those where they would do it all the time, like a Dr. Phil.
Yeah. You would, like, toss them in there. Like, there was a whole show. And you would just, like, a kid who was like troubled, like they were like fighting in school. You just like toss him in prison, which is actually kind of fucking unhinged when you think back. Like you got grown just male prisoners and people like, and you just chunks like, what? That's kind of crazy to think about if you really think it through.
Yeah, I think that's probably why it ended, right?
That's valid, yeah.
A lot of things like don't age well.
Cassie, that shit sucks. Like the videos, nuts.
Dude. Hard to watch. And I talked about it with my producers too, where it was like, there's something about like when you see there's a couple videos, usually NFL players, whatever, it is the most visceral, crazy thing that you can see. The Diddy thing I've gone back and forth on because I'm just like, sometimes my mind can't comprehend when there's too many crazy things and I don't have answers.
There's a lot
like
of
he's
layers.
Trafficking and Bieber and the Cassie and then
Usher
also
even.
gay and then he's, you know, so when
Meat
they
Mill.
right
Yes.
so my brain just goes like, all right, I don't know, I can't comprehend it, so I don't know what's going on.
Yeah,
that made it more streamlined, right? Where you're like, okay,
he's doing
okay,
like Diddy did it for sure. But I don't know. His apology that he released is very much giving. I'm not sure if you've seen South Park or are familiar.
Yes,
the episode with
their
the
takes on stuff are.
Yeah, the episode with the BP oil spill where they're apologizing for it. And it's very like, we're sorry. You know what I mean? Like it's giving that, like, you know, I'm just not proud of it. I'm like, sir, this is the first thing where it's confirmed because we've seen footage, but like there's, like you said, there's so many other layers to it. It's fucking insane. And like the speed within which he settled outside of court with Cassie when this all came out, like, come on. Do you think, like, behind the scenes of it all, that really is kind of a thing to where some people are saying, like, Diddy's going through his, like, humiliation ritual, right? Like, behind the scenes in Hollywood, and this is, like, he has to go through this to get to the next level. Or, like, certain people who died in the 27 Club, they didn't want to proceed with going through the motions of the Illuminati or whatever you want to call it.
Okay.
Do you think this is, like, a portion of that in a way?
Of his? Yes. Or I think like he's wronged enough people, or one of the people that he wronged became powerful enough to finally, or he pissed a powerful person off. Do you know what I mean? Like,
he's done so much. Like, who's to say? They're saying now he has something to do with like killing Biggie or Tupac, or like it goes so far back.
Oh, he could never. He's such a fucking pussy. I heard there is a murder in some kind of recording studio, and they had to like clean up the carpet and stuff like that. Like, heard there's a murder that's being covered up. There's questions about his wife that died suddenly of pneumonia. Also, when people aren't making as much money or don't have as much money, the people that were on the payroll that were being quiet, they're not getting paid anymore. And now it all fucking comes to fruition. I don't know about Illuminati.
Yeah.
That's a fun one, though.
Isn't it, though? I feel like there has to be something. I don't know if it's like an Eyes Wide Shut moment or whatever that movie is, but like there has to be some sort of higher like group out there, I would assume.
Yeah.
Like if you have that much money and that much power, I feel like some nefarious shit's probably happening.
For sure. But we know people that have gone to the white party. My husband went to the white parties. Like,
no
it's
shit,
like,
really?
Yeah, it was like a thing every year at the Hamptons. I mean, look, they got real loosey-goosey with the guest list to the white party. So my husband got in on that one.
What time period are we looking at that he was going to the white party?
So I guess it would have to be 05.
Oh.
To
this
like,
was kind of like peak white party.
Yeah, peak white party, 2010, maybe, I don't know. But like, but then, you know, he wasn't big enough to go to the red party afterwards, which I guess what was happening.
Okay, I didn't even hear about that. That's when they get like all the normal people out there, like no more like photos.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that have the pictures with Diddy at the white parties, or you're at the white party. Those people aren't necessarily connected.
Yeah.
It's not like all the people with Epstein pictures, right? It's like you went to the white party and had some champagne, whatever. And then I guess they're allegedly, that after the white party is when the red party would be after where all the like crazy shit was happening. Damn. It's crazy to think about, like, when you break it down, what they're saying the Illuminati does, right? Or what these parties are. It's crazy to think that everyone would agree, like, go to the white party and then you go to the red party afterwards. And it's crazy to think that everyone would be cool with the insane stuff that's going on, right?
It is valid because I had a friend, she, I believe, lives in Miami or LA, and she said at certain parties, one of them I think was for like Bella Thorne or something.
Okay.
You have to give blood to get into them. Like literally.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like, it's gotta be this reality that you and I don't know if you've seen it, but I've just never encountered people that would be like, okay, cool. Yeah. Oh, you got to give blood. You got to give blood, but maybe.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, I feel like I've known some weird ass people over the years. Maybe like perhaps.
I saw you at or like on Instagram. There was like a bunch of cyber trucks and like a mansion.
As much as I hate to say,
in
the like parties.
No, now
Austin,
that I'm talking about it,
if you give them like a little sniff of ketamine, they'd do a lot probably.
If you made them feel like this is like the most exclusive thing ever,
exactly.
Now that we're talking it out, like there's people that might, and I would maybe be one of them in that scenario because I'm so like, what? I'm not gonna like.
I don't like miss out. I might join the Illuminati for the plot. I'm not gonna lie.
You're right. And a peer pressure is a very powerful thing.
Yeah, I bet they're good at it too.
Oh, the best.
And why not? Like, what do I have to? Well, like my soul, I guess. I don't know. Like, what do you actually lose?
What do you have to lose? You have some of my blood. What?
Yeah. And what's the downside really? Like, say it exists. Say the Illuminati's a thing. What's like the downside we're looking at here of joining? Can we actually think of one? I might be convincing myself to look into this. I don't know.
There's a whole list. We saw all the list and nobody cares.
Yeah.
Nobody cares about the list. Yeah. I've met many grifters here. A couple that are like coming to mind that like you ask them, what do you do? Like, what do you do? And they can't fucking really tell you, or if it's a little bit of this and a little bit of that, run. I have a friend and he is a sleuth. He will find out anything. He'll go in the depths of the internet, the trenches, and find out like anything about anyone. Can't find a thing, not a thing. We're like, okay, either this man like scrubbed his background, like is he Illuminati? What's going on? So me being just the gal that I am, we're at an Italian restaurant sitting there and I'm like, look, pal, I must know. I'm not going to lie to you. I looked into this. Yeah. Like, I've really like been in the trenches of the internet and sadly I couldn't find a thing. So he tells me I money launder. Honest.
So, and I was like, okay, that's cute. You know what? I'm not mad. I'm kind of glad you told me the truth, but it's like, is this true? So then like the more he told me, I came to realize like, yeah, no, it is. Kind of like Ozark, but without the hillbilly of it all.
And so this story ends.
Oh.
You're alive, but.
Well, it was beautiful and it was great. But at the same time, it's like, damn, you know, now here I am babysitting a money laundering drug smuggler in Dubai during Ramadan, right?
It's exciting to be like, I lived.
Sure.
And have the story.
Exactly. Has anything similar ever happened?
There was many times that I was kind of just like, dude, I lived. I used to go to the boardwalk during summers from like 16 on. I would like smoke weed with Carnies, like go to a second location.
With the Carnies in question.
With the Carnies to like, because I wanted to smoke weed or whatever.
Yeah,
the fact that I'm alive from that, there was many like moments where like I had to like get the fuck out.
Were they fun?
I thought, you know, to me, I was like, if you have weed,
yeah,
you're cool. There was this guy, homeless guy, where he lived in a halfway house, but his name was Crazy John. He was cool and he would just
we love Crazy
drive
John.
around. Crazy John, right? He had like a screwball eye and we weren't really sure what was up with him. And he drove like one of those 3 like big tricycles, like an adult tricycle thing with like a basket in the back. Yeah. He, as like teenagers, 17, 18, 19, whatever, would like go back to his halfway house, like little room and smoke fucking weed with Crazy John. And he was fucking crazy, right? But like, if my kid was telling me that story right now, I would be like, what? And we're like, no, you don't get it. Like, he's just... He
like
was
me and
He was like
you.
harmless, dude. He was funny. It was like, we don't really know. He wasn't all there. Somehow he had weed.
I went to this rave. It ends. We're like, what do we do now? We had met these 2 gay guys and they were like, come with us. Mind you, this would be like a prime trafficking technique. We so easily could have been on the island or I don't know.
Oh, yes.
So we go with them, of course, in their car. They have no business driving. Their pupils are the size of like a paper plate, like just terrifying. And we park and they're like, we have to walk the rest of the way to this after party. I'm like, okay, sure, thinking nothing of it. And I'm from like fucking a small town in Texas. I don't know like jack shit about whatever. Like we get out of the car, we start walking. It's me, another girl, and just this one like jolly gay lad. I'm stepping over humans as I walk. I'm like, there seem to be a lot of homeless people. What's happening? I'm like, where the fuck? At the time I was dating someone, this was during, I wasn't the best girlfriend during this time. My phone's going crazy, psychotic. I tried to look at it. I'm like this. He's like, Rebecca, what the fuck are you doing on Skid Row? I zoom out. I finally like look at everything. I'm like,
Mad Max. You're in a fucking like in the Mad Max desert.
We're like halfway there. The car is back that way. I'm not walking by myself back to the car to sit there for who knows how long. I have to keep trucking.
Right.
So I'm like, my only defense is like my lack of mental prowess and this large gay man who probably doesn't give a fuck about me.
Right.
So we show up to this rave. It's an entire shop. We go inside. It's honestly pretty fucking fun. Some Israelis give me ketamine.
Perfect.
And it was honestly a vibe. Yeah.
I'm on the side of TikTok. I don't know how I got there. Well, I do know, but like it's the beige mom thing, or it's the kids that are, you know, homeschooled and frolicking in a field. And it's like, you know, telling you that like spending time with your kids is like, you'll never regret a day in your life, or don't put them behind the desk. And, you know, kids that are, you know, all sleeping together in the bed, all the beige bed with the beautiful windows and the trees. Yeah. And I'm just like, this isn't fucking real. Like my kids are crazy.
Yeah.
All these things where it's like designed to make you feel bad about whatever it is you're doing. So, you know, I guess I got on the side of like making me feel bad for going to work and putting my kids in school and like not spending every single waking moment with them.
Yeah.
And
it's crazy how that would like work, I'm sure, on some people though. And it's like,
for sure.
I'm actually on like inmate dating TikTok, which is a really interesting place to be. But
okay, so you're on what?
Inmate dating
TikTok.
Yeah, I like, oh, this is what she's into. Let's just ruin her life further.
Yeah.
But it is a side of TikTok where they show you men currently incarcerated and you can date them through, I guess, calling them on their little phone number. You can put like food for their commissary. They're like, no, I'm going to change. Like I might have like done this or that, but like I could be better for you. And you're just being like actively just gaslit through the screen by an inmate. But it's like, is it working? I don't know.
Listen, I see the appeal.
Yeah, right.
I see the appeal to have someone, you know, you're the only person that they're going to be able to call.
Right.
You know where they are. You get just like love bombed, but there's no real downside as long as they're not getting out.
Imagine if getting cheated on by someone on Inmate Talk.
One of the Menendez brothers like got divorced and remarried. Like, you know, insanity. But I think it's because dating is so insane. And so you have someone that like is just so obsessed, enamored with you. You know where they are. You sit down for the call. You know they're not going to try calling you again.
I guess that would be my only fear is they have different, you know, prison talk girlfriends.
It's the ones that like try and like the crusade to try and get them out. And they're like, you know, their whole thing is now like trying to get their prison boyfriend out of jail. And if they have enough money, sometimes they can do it.
I think that would be my tactic. If I were in jail, I would just find someone through like prison talk and be like, babe, I would never do that again. Like I would for sure do whatever it was.
Right.
But like I would just like finesse my way out via like prison dating. You also have like a true crime podcast, right?
I do.
Tell me about that.
It came about because I'm a white lady. And so I like to enter spaces when they're already saturated.
Okay.
So I was like,
Same.
you know what
That's
we need? Yeah, you know what we need? Another true crime podcast. So I remember watching Dateline, like my, you know, dad was always into those cases. Favorite case, probably, I do love the Menendez brothers. I liked looking back. We sometimes, so on my podcast, we'll sometimes look at older cases through like a new 2024 lens. So like the Menendez brothers trial or Michael Peterson, where he like killed supposedly killed his pregnant wife, Lacey Peterson, and like was, you know, on Christmas and they found that he had an affair, but the evidence just really isn't there. it's just the media was like, dude, fuck this guy. And he got, in a lot of cases, the media will just like trial by media, and then the case is fucking done. And there's no real evidence.
Sure.
Not saying that he's innocent, but I'm saying there's got to be DNA. There's got to be hard evidence to put someone in jail for life, right? So we look at cases kind of with a new lens and things that we know now and see how we feel
for sure
about that. And then I just love, I'm in always it's always the husband. We do a series. It's like, it's always the husband.
Right.
Like, it's crazy to me. We don't do as many serial killers as the guy, the husband or wife or person that decides murder's the best option. They've never done it before, right?
Yeah.
They're going to murder for the first time and get away with it. They think that they're like somehow they're going to kill their husband or wife in such a way, and they're smart enough, which is crazy. The fact that divorce is not an option. Like the crazy, they're not murderers, but people, I find it fascinating how people are taken to the point, whether it's money or an affair or whatever, taken to the point where they're going to murder one time, get away with it. So we do a lot of those, the husband cases. The one we just did is the Colorado mom 4 years ago disappeared on Mother's Day. And everyone kind of, it was a thing that, you know, it was on every morning show and Today Show and all of that for a little bit. And the husband was first arrested for it because it was like, A, it's always the husband, and B, like, you kind of all fingers are pointing towards you. He gets out on some kind of technicality, but they were like, if we find the body, we can try you again. Like, we're not saying you didn't do it. We're just saying, like, we can't hold you right now.
Like, you're on thin ice, buddy.
Right. Yeah. And so what do they do? What does the husband do? He goes off. He does all these interviews, holding the daughter's hand. I can't believe they would ever think. And he's weird as fuck. And he doesn't come off right. Why? Because he probably fucking murdered his wife. They just found the body. He's not arrested yet. He was a big, I'll say these. He was a big game hunter. They found her body. And there's tranquilizer they found in the bones. Right?
Listen, buddy.
Buddy. Either you're the most unlucky motherfucker ever.
Yeah.
Or you did it. And it's usually, you know, detectives and I don't like coincidence. There's no coincidence. It's you're super unlucky or you fucking did it.
Which probably did it.
You fucking did it, dude.
What do you think? Was it John Benet Ramsey?
Yeah.
What do you think happened there? Like, I feel like you probably have an opinion on this.
Yeah. Has Jared talked to you about it?
No.
He loves talking about the John
Wait, really?
I think it was the brother.
Okay.
So I think it was the brother, the little brother that wasn't that much older than her, but he was very strange and always had really strange things. And the interviews that they did with him after were a little unhinged, even when he was a kid.
Really?
After she died. So I think he did it. The parents found that he did it and didn't want to lose their son. And so the mom in particular, made up this, you know, hostage note, and they were just like trying to find the person that did it, said that someone, you know, they're rich. So somebody came in, didn't take the daughter out of the house, killed her in there, and then left a ransom note. Ransom note is something that's like insane. You see that on Die Hard, you know, whatever. Yeah. It's like not real life. Dr. Phil did an interview with the brother, the son at the time. He's older now, and he's still weird. So he's done that interview. They've kind of cleared him.
The interview on Dr. Phil closes out. They're like, oh, he's good to go.
Oh, he's good. Yeah. When Dr. Phil said he was good.
Professional diagnosis, he is innocent.
Yeah.
So here's the Rainey Street killer here in Austin.
I know.
What do you think about that?
I like this one.
Yeah.
I like this one because for once it's dudes that are getting hunted.
Refreshing response.
For once it's like we could go out on Rainey and be fucking fine all night. For once it's like the bros that are coming into town that have to feel what it's like to constantly be worried about walking down the street by yourself, getting into an elevator with someone else, making your keys into a fucking fist when you're walking out to your car, constantly every single day. In my mind, I want it to be a woman. It's not, but I really want it to be. There's one guy that he survived.
Oh.
And he's talking a little bit, but he doesn't really remember. So he's like, I was in town for a bachelor party, which they all are.
Yeah.
They're from out of town and they're a bunch of bros always. And one of them always breaks off somehow and they don't see him again. So this guy was with bachelor party. He said, I drink a lot. I'm a professional. They're like, I had a couple drinks and then like do not fucking remember what happened. And he was walking by the bridge by Sammy's and he was like, I don't know if I was pushed or I fell. But I was walking off that bridge and I'm now in a hospital and I don't, the last thing I remember is walking across that bridge. So I don't know if I was with anyone. And then I do think it's because dudes don't look out for each other the same way girls do.
Because
so
I guess typically they don't have to, right? They're like, oh, he's a man. He can like.
He probably found some girl. He was talking to a girl, whatever. They don't talk to him for 2 days. They're like, hey, should we like check on our buddy that we traveled here with? For women, we're like, where's Rebecca? Like,
yeah.
Did you see her? Did she go to the bathroom? Who'd she go with? Who is that guy? Is her location on? Like, there's always someone to be like, let me know when you got home.
Sure.
With dudes, it's just not like that.
That's
so they're
valid.
Easy targets. They're never afraid and their friends don't look out for them.
I wonder if the killer is like in cahoots with someone at a bar, like a bartender to like drug them and then get them to wander, you know?
Maybe. But you always have to think about like who benefits. Who's
guess.
benefiting from this? It's either some incel dude that was like bullied by bros when he was like growing, has something against bros
like
that
weird
ruined
complex,
his life.
Yeah.
Or it's just like, or these guys are just getting way too drunk. They're getting drugged or whatever, and they're falling in the fucking river as they're trying to pee. I don't know.
Valid. What were there like injuries on any of these people or no? They were just
So no, it's hard to see strangulation, I guess, but like no, it's they'd be drugged to a point that if you are put in water, pushed in water, or held down, you would not really be able. Like a big bro can be taken down with a roofie really, really quickly to like a just stumbling mess that does not know what's going on.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't necessarily need to hit them, or you could lead them like a puppy to the fucking water and just,
damn.
Do you know what I mean? So some of these, not Rainey, but most of them have just been like no foul play because they just drowned. But how did they drown? Was someone pushing was someone pushing their head down? Were they pushed in the water? Was it like, we don't know any of that.
And why like a similar spot for all of them too? Like that's a little, right? Wasn't it like kind of a similar?
Yeah. And I always think too, like we've been to Rainey, like drinking. It is never, no matter what, been my instinct to walk down to the water. Do you know what I mean? You're you're just like, let's go to another bar, or you're sitting on the sidewalk, like waiting for Uber or something. But I am never thinking that let's find the water.
Yeah, like I could go to Unbelievable or Hear Me Out. Let me go to this bridge in the dark,
right,
where nobody can hear me scream. Which is it?
I can pee on the side of this building. If you are trying to pee, it's Austin. You
There's
can
alleys,
pee in any alley that you want.
There's a
Why are you finding the water somehow?
Yeah.
Which, by the way, is not easy to find.
No, let me go in the bog.
You have to go around the thing, cross the street, wait for the light to go. You know, so it's not an easy place to go.
That's insane.
So I like the Rainy Street one. I like it.
I have a friend. She has a client who's a police officer. She said that apparently there's like rumblings of a serial killer in Houston, but they don't want to talk about it because they don't want to scare like the population. But apparently there's been like a chain of events where it's very closely related and it seems like a trend, but they haven't like released it publicly yet.
Like an MO, like they're all people are dying in the same way and they're seeing a pattern.
Exactly. Like similar location, similar like way of like getting killed and stuff like that. And I want to say like she told her it was something like 6 people or like a lot, like
That's
hefty sum. Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
And no, they wouldn't want to say anything, to scare people, but they also don't want the person to know that they're onto them.
Ooh.
Yeah. So they don't want like people to know, either for copycats or for the person to know that they're onto them. Even the Rainy thing, I think they're keeping chill because they're investigating on behind the scenes.
There was a post on Instagram just recently, a few days ago, and it was about people just getting drugged at bars just mercilessly recently. It's been so bad. It's like if you're a girl or whoever at, you know, this bar, that bar, and they think in this case, the bartenders, some of them are like in cahoots with maybe like an organization, and they're getting paid to drug these people, and then obviously whatever happens after that. But there's this whole big conspiracy that I've heard where I guess people are getting drugged like for some weird motive, and the bartenders are getting paid off. They're doing this big investigation apparently of a lot of the bars.
It's crazy.
I know.
I wonder if it would be like rival bars too that want the bar to like get in trouble, because if you overserve and shit and stuff happens, the bar will get in trouble.
It's got to be a feud or two.
I think there's a couple restaurant groups that basically own a lot of stuff. Yeah, you would fit right in with the Drinking Bros. They do a lot of like, that's what they want you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's how my brain works. I swear to God. Like literally just the other night, I'm in an Uber with a friend, and the Uber driver literally hands us a piece of gum. And both of us immediately are like, just turn to each other. We're like, what if it's poison? What if he's trying to kill us? Like, da-da-da. That's just how like, I don't know. It's the world we live in, but it's also just how my brain works.
Yeah, but good, because then you're not going to be drugged on the side of, you know.
Well, yeah, like who's going to get got? Like when I first moved to Austin, there were 2 girls that I lived with. They never locked their doors. They would leave their cars unlocked. And for me, I grew up in a very rough place.
Yeah.
I did door-to-door sales for 3 years.
Okay.
So we're in a really, really bad area of Houston. Really bad. But that was the best market. So I was like, fuck it.
Right.
So we're in a gas station, and my gut instinct all of a sudden is like, something's off. I just like felt it, and that shit's never wrong.
Yeah.
I look up, there's this guy looking really just like weird in the back of the store. He's kind of fucking with the ATM, and he starts kind of yelling at the cashier, and I'm like, I grab the keys, I literally leave. I'm like, we're going. And he's just still at the little register. We walk out, we hear screaming, and then we hear a gunshot when he's walking out of the store. And I guess this guy was like trying to like rob the fucking store.
I think I feel that too, where I just go like, I usually have the instincts with people where I've told, you know, people, especially in our group, because these guys are so fucking dumb. Like I've told them like, don't like it. I don't like her. I don't like her. I don't like him. It doesn't feel right, whatever. And I am always right. We just like, it's like being in a jungle where you could feel, or like around animals, when something's about to happen, they all like, it gets either quiet or they all start, you know, and you just kind of have that feeling.
Dude, I say that shit so much. It's like animals have instincts. We do too, but people choose to ignore them.
We were taught like, you know, just be nice, or like don't like judge people. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck. I'm walking to the other side of the street.
There's so many people out there that are just fucked up or like opportunistic or whatever, just cutting off friendships, relationships, like fast as fuck. Why are you going to feel bad for doing what's best for yourself and giving yourself more peace and removing someone who's just toxic and maybe not for someone else, but not a fit for you?
Yeah. And it's okay if you're, you know, boring or not the best, or you don't like this thing of like, they don't add to your life. That's okay. It's when you get a little whiff or a little stink of something kind of, I think of them as like, you know, like a tornado or a hurricane. These people that are always like, something's always wrong, and they're always having a problem, or they're always needing something, or like something's always like happening to them. I go, that's like your hurricane. And if I get too close, even though I'm not doing it, or I'm not fucking with those people, or I'm not doing the drugs or whatever, I'm going to get fucking...
It sucks you in.
Sucked into your hurricane, and I'm going to be in the car when the cop pulls you, or whatever it is, and you just go...
Exactly.
Just get the stink off you and try and hang out with people that are all moving in the herd in the same way, because you could get fucking taken out.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Oh my gosh. It was
a great time.
This is fun. I was entertained.
Thank you.
Well, thank you.
I appreciate that.
Let's do it again.
Let's do it. Hell yeah.